So next we will discuss the basic laws for circuit analysis. So the basic laws are the Kirchhoff's law, Kirchhoff's voltage law and current law. So Kirchhoff's voltage law and current law, it holds good for DC circuits. We will be seeing in this video that it holds good for AC circuits as well. So here let us consider that we have voltages V1, V2 etc. up to Vn in a closed loop circuit. So according to KVL, V1 plus V2 plus V3 plus etc. up to Vn will be equal to 0. So in steady state, each of these voltages can be written as V1 is equal to Vm1 cos omega t plus theta 1. Similarly, V2 can be written as Vm2 cos omega t plus theta 2 plus Vn is equal to Vmn cos omega t plus theta n is equal to 0. So this can be written in the exponential form as real part of Vm1 into e power j theta 1 into e power j omega t. So plus, so this Vm2 for Vm2 cos omega t plus theta 2, real part of Vm2 e power j omega theta 2 into e power j omega t etc. So this is also written as real part of the voltage. So is equal to 0. Now in all these terms, e power j omega t is constant, so take it outside. So this can be written as the equation given here. Now we know that Vm1 e power j theta 1 is phasor, right? V e power j theta is V, that is capital V in phasor form. So this can be written as real part of V1 plus V2 etc. up to Vn is equal to 0. We know that this term is not 0 because if omega tends to 0 then that becomes DC, so this will not be equal to 0. The only possibility is V1 plus V2 plus etc. up to Vn will be equal to 0. So this V1, V2, Vn are all in phasor form. So this is Kirchhoff's voltage law. So next is Kirchhoff's current law. So let us assume that again currents I1, I2 etc. up to In are present in a closed circuit. So then according to Kirchhoff's current law, I1 plus I2 etc. up to In is equal to 0. Following the same steps which was followed in deriving the KVL, that is by using the phasors. So this can be simplified as I1 plus I2 etc. up to In is equal to 0, which for this is the Kirchhoff's current law in frequency domain or phasor domain. So only when the Kirchhoff's laws holds good we can do many circuit analysis. So next is impedance combination. So impedance combination, that is we are going to study about series and parallel combination of impedances. So we have studied the series and parallel combination of resistor, inductor, capacitor. So here is the circuit given. We have Z1, Z2 etc. up to Zn, that is n impedances connected in series to a voltage source. So the voltage source is V and the current flowing in the circuit is I. So here according to Kirchhoff's voltage law, so this V will be equal to the voltage drop across each impedances, that is for impedance Z1 the voltage drop is V1, for Z2 voltage drop is V2, Zn voltage drop is Vn. So according to voltage law, Kirchhoff's voltage law, V will be equal to V1 plus V2 etc. up to Vn. So this can be written as V is equal to I into R, Ohm's law. So instead of R we have impedances here. So this is equal to I into Z1 plus Z2 plus etc. up to Zn. Now the equivalent impedance from this input terminal, that is seeing at this point what is the equivalent impedances of this impedance is Z equivalent is V by I, total voltage by total current. So total voltage is I into Z1 plus Z2 plus Zn by I again. So this will be equal to Z1 plus Z2 etc. up to Zn. That is, when n impedances are connected in series, then the total impedance is equal to sum of individual impedances. This is similar to the resistances connected in series. Now let us see about the voltage division. So here we are simplifying this circuit. So here we considered n impedances. So here we are going to consider only two impedances, Z1 and Z2, and the voltage drop across Z1 is V1 and the voltage drop across Z2 is V2. The V is the total voltage applied and I is the current flowing in the circuit. Now this current I can be written as I is equal to V by Z, right? So V by, what is the total impedance? Z1 by Z1 plus Z2, right? So I is equal to V by Z1 plus Z2. So here since we know that the voltage drop V1 is equal to I into Z1, similarly V2 is equal to I into Z2, then so V1 will be equal to, substitute the value of I here, so this will be Z1 by Z1 plus Z2 into V. V2 is equal to, again Z2 into, instead of I, V by Z1 plus Z2. So this is the voltage division. So voltage across individual resistance is equal to voltage across the same impedance divided by total impedance into total voltage. So this is voltage division. So next is impedance combination in parallel. So here we have impedances Z1, Z2 etc. up to Zn connected in parallel, and we have a common current source I. So the voltage across this is taken as V, and the individual current in each of the branches is I1, I2 etc. up to In. So here again we can write according to Kirchhoff's current law, I will be equal to I1 plus I2 plus etc. up to In. So this is equal to V into 1 by Z1 plus 1 by Z2 etc. up to 1 by Zn. So the equivalent impedance will be equal to 1 by Z equivalent is equal to 1 by Z1 plus 1 by Z2 etc. up to 1 by Zn. And the equivalent admittances, we know that admittance is the reciprocal of impedance. So this 1 by Z equivalent is Y equivalent. This is Y1 plus Y2 etc. up to Yn. So again we'll move into current division. So here is a circuit. We have only two impedances Z1 and Z2. Current flowing in this impedance is I1 and in this is I2, and there is a common current source here. So Z equivalent is 1 by Y equivalent, which is equal to 1 by Y1 plus Y2. This is equal to Z1 into Z2 by Z1 plus Z2. This is similar to the equivalent impedances of resistances connected in parallel. This is similar, right? So again here this V can be written as either I into Z equivalent impedances of these two impedance, or V is equal to I1 into Z1 or I2 into Z2, because all these are in parallel. So the voltage across this branch will be equal to this branch, right? So this is the voltage V. Now we are going to find out the current division, that is what is the current I1 and what is current I2. So here I1 Z1 is equal to I into Z equivalent, right? So substituting the value of impedances, so we will get I1 is equal to Z2 by Z1 plus Z2 into I. Similarly, I2 is equal to Z1 by Z1 plus Z2 into I. So this is current division. So next is star to delta and delta to star transformation. So here this is the circuit. So this ZA, B and C forms the delta circuit, and Z1, Z2 and Z3 forms the star circuit. So here we have already derived, we have already seen the derivation of star to delta transformation and delta to star transformation for a resistive circuit. So for an impedance circuit also the same transformation holds good. So we'll just see the formulas pertaining to those transformation. So let us first consider the star to delta conversion. So what does it mean? Star circuit is given, we have to convert it into a delta circuit. So here impedances Z1, Z2 and Z3 are given. We have to find out what is ZA, ZB and ZC. So that is equal to so this can be found as, so the formula is any impedance in a circuit is equal to sum of product of all possible combination of star impedances divided by the opposite impedance in a star circuit. That is, suppose if you are going to find out the impedance ZA, then ZA will be equal to product of all combination of impedances. So Z1 Z2 plus Z2 Z3 plus Z3 Z1 divided by opposite impedance, that is ZA, the impedance opposite to ZA is Z1. So divided by Z1. Similarly, if you are going to find out ZB, then again Z1 Z2 plus Z2 Z3 plus Z3 Z1 divided by the opposite impedance Z2. This is again for ZC, this is the formula. Similarly, for delta to star conversion, that is this delta circuit is given, that is ZA, ZB and ZC are given. We have to find out Z1, Z2 and Z3. So in that case, it can be found as any impedance in a star circuit is equal to product of adjacent combination of impedances in a delta connected circuit divided by the sum of all impedance in a delta connected circuit. So that is, if I have to find out the value of Z1, Z1 will be the product of the adjacent resistance, that is ZB into ZC divided by the sum of all impedances in a delta connected circuit, that is ZA, ZB and ZC. Okay, similarly, if I have to find out Z2, then the formula is ZC into ZA divided by ZA plus ZB plus ZC. So a circuit is said to be balanced, that is star or delta circuit is said to be balanced if the equal impedances are present in all the branches. So all these combinations are simply Z. Then we will have Z delta will be equal to 3 into Z star, or Z star is equal to 1 by 3 into delta. So this is star to delta transformation.